god. I take it back. I take back every time I said we need to learn more about Planet Cray for me to care about it. I really take it back, because we learned more about Cray this week, and we saw some of Cray, and I could not give a fucking shit. Like, I genuinely do not care about Planet Cray. I have no interest in learning about it, and when we do learn stuff about Cray, it's really fucking stupid. Okay, oh yeah, and welcome everybody. So, we'll get the bad stuff out of the way first. Cray is a fucking stupid plot device, and it is a plot device. It really has no impact on anything going on. It's just a thing that exists. So seeing a thing that exists be affected by another thing that exists that we as the viewer don't care about is really boring. And it starts off pretty bad when Takuto gives his explanation of Earth's and Cray's relationship. So from what I can gather, a planet that is presumably millions of light years from Earth, or I guess on the other side of Earth, we have the same moon, I don't know. This planet that has dragons and superpowered beings is influenced by basically monkeys that just learned how to get electricity. That is what we're going with. And it's one thing if, like, you have a line that will ultimately just say that, oh, they found something special about human beings. It's all just lip service. It doesn't impact the plot, it doesn't influence anything, and if it hasn't by now, it never fucking will. Planet Cray is dumb, it's stupid, it adds nothing, and they're a shit group of people. Like, when we're seeing Cray and the Link Joker coming, and we see the boring generic cities, and we see 1,000 blaster javelins, and we just see all the units just kind of being like, we're here, we exist, apparently. When I see Cray getting attacked, I'm like, good, destroy them, blow this place up. They are shit people. Like, when you really think about what Cray has given the Earth, now let's think about this for a minute. So, Cray is possessing people. They are taking innocent people and destroying their minds and rebuilding them. And they're also basically using us and card fights for riches to influence their strength. I don't know. And it's dumb. And, like, get them out of here. This is the Madoka Magica twist, but somehow dumber. Like, it's really stupid. Like, just let Cray die. Who cares? The Earth would probably be better off for it. Maybe the Link Joker come next. Maybe they don't. Who cares? It's so dumb. However, everything around it is good. As I keep saying, they don't care about the actual plot elements. They don't care about the Cray stuff. And just real quickly, before anyone brings it up, the reason I can accept Yu-Gi-Oh! Magical nonsense, and I barely do anymore, the reason I think magic works better in these, because you see magic in Yu-Gi-Oh!, Duel Masters, all these other things. The reason it works is because magic can be vague, and magic is at its best when we don't fully understand how it works. So because of this, you don't really have to go into detail, so the stuff that doesn't make sense doesn't need to be brought up so much. With this you do, because you constantly need to justify why Cray is a physical place, and why that physical place cares about us. But in Yu-Gi-Oh! You can have it that, oh, what are the Millennium items? Magic shit. Oh, why are cards coming to life and causing mass destruction? Magic shit. How does Yugi's hair work? Magic shit. It's fine. You can just explain it as that, and you can have your stakes be based around it, and you can have everything be based around magic, because we don't really need to know how it works or why it's doing what it's doing, just that it's a threat and it needs to be dealt with. That's ultimately why I think a lot of the stakes in Vanguard don't work. And I'm not saying a one-size-fits-all answer to everything is always the right way to go, and a lot of times it does get lazy. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has had that problem for a while now. But I think if you're not going to really come up with anything interesting or really do anything with what you set up, I think that is the way to go. Now again, if they wanted to figure out a way to make Planet work, that's fine, but I ultimately feel it's just a planet so that way people don't just think it's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Ripoff. And that's all there is to that. As for everything else, holy crap, it's so good when it doesn't care about Cray. Like, the bit where Takuto explains how he works, not how it's involved with Cray, just what he is, how he works, what is going on, is a really good fucking scene. Like, when Takuto just goes, I'm possessing him, I'm controlling him, Takuto is basically a car I'm driving. That is good. That is creepy. That is scary. And the way he delivers the line with such delicious malevolency is so good. And it's good because it's a very understandable, relatable fear. I've loved the scenes where Takuto gets possessed, where Korin gets messed with, because they feel visceral. You feel the pain. You feel the emotion of these people losing everything who they are for a greater purpose they didn't ask for, and they're being forced in. If you'd played Cray up as the bad guys, that'd be amazing. But they don't, so yeah. But no, that's really good, and Ren's reaction is good. The way he's freaked out, the way he kind of is like, this is weird, this is disturbing, screw this evil kid. Like, just all that is really good, and even Tetsu's response to all that dumb Cray shit feels very human. Like, it's just too much information to process at once, and like, that's good, and it's relatable. I know they seem like simple things, but simple things like that are important in these kinds of stories. So yeah, that's that. And then we move on. Well, okay, this came first, but you get where I'm going with this. We get the really highlight of the episode, and that just being 5 teenagers in a room arguing. That scene is fantastic. First up, a little backstory. Someone brought this up in the comments section last week. I apologize I never got back to you. But someone said that the way Aichi talks to Misaki after defeating her, it sort of feels like a confession. The way he's talking to her, the way he's describing her, and the way he says, will you stay by my side, almost sort of feels like a twisted version of what someone confessing their feelings to someone might say. And that felt, when I read that comment and I sort of thought about it in that context, I'm like, yeah, that actually kind of makes it creepier. I don't know if that's the intention, but I kind of think it is. Because, like, then you listen to the way Aichi and Misaki talk in this episode. First up, love how the actors are having a ball getting to play dark versions of their characters. But the way they kind of bounce off each other, there's almost like this weird flirtiness to the way they're talking. It is creepy, and it is effective, and it kind of horrifies you, because it's like being a Psyqualia zombie doesn't really seem to change your personality that much. It just sort of makes you more aggressive and points you in the direction the deleters need you to go. So we can assume this is how Aichi really feels about her. So it kind of makes it feel more twisted that they're messing with his emotions this much, or his desire to have friends with the way he talks to Korin and Naoki. That's good! And I love the bit when Korin's like, no, this isn't what you want, Aichi, and Aichi kind of just snaps at her and just kind of horrifyingly puts her in her place, just sort of like, oh, well, you're just a weapon of Takuto, or I forget the specific line, but basically just kind of belittling her and reminding us how small she is, and really how small everyone is. That these characters essentially can just be vehicles for a greater entity that we don't understand is awesome, and it's scary, and it's creepy, and I want more of that shit. Like, give me that, not Cray. Like, that's good, and that's what I want, because at this point, that's what I'm here for. I'm here for that creepiness. I'm here for that idea of when is losing you needed, or something like that. That's really cool, and that's what I want out of this franchise. But tell me if that's what you want. Tell me if that's what you want out of Cardfight Vanguard. Tell me about all that below, how you thought of this episode, if you like Planet Cray. Because if you do, that's fine. I don't know how anyone could really like Planet Cray, but if you do, tell me below. And as for the Vanguard question of the week, oh yeah, so I was thinking about this watching the fight with the new Link Jokers. They seem cool, I guess. That grade 3 looks like a bitch. But I was thinking about this. Am I the only one starting to miss that starters don't do anything anymore? I know that might seem weird, because towards the end there of G format, starters were getting really degenerate. Anyone who remembers TikTok worker format knows what I'm talking about. But I'm kind of getting bored of just, oh, ride draw. I think standard gets a little too linear and therefore a little stale at times. So would it spice things up? Would it be good? Because, like, we see the new Beast Deity starter, we see the new Link Joker starter. They're just the same thing as they were. And maybe Beast Deities and Link Jokers in the Soul will mean something, but if they don't, it just feels like a waste to just make them the same as everything else. I'm not saying it needs to get super complicated, but maybe it was just something like they just move back and you just get an extra rear guard. Because it's 6k, you're not really hitting anything anymore on your own. But tell me if you're against that. If you don't think that's a good idea, I could totally understand why. But give me your thoughts about that below. And as always, click to like, click subscribe, and join me next week as we get to see Force Clans do degenerate Force Clans things.